Hi, I'm Angel Ribo with Mindalia, and we are here today with Paola Harris. Hi Paola, how are you?
Hi Angel, it's good to be here.
Likewise, we're really thrilled to have you here. So, to start our conversation today, I would like to ask you, what's that thing that you are most passionate about?
The truth.
The truth. What's truth for you?
I think it's different for a lot of people. For me, because I'm a journalist, I have to go to other people who are directly involved with this phenomenon to get what the truth is. I just want to know. I want to know what the truth is about the UFO phenomenon, about the cover-up, about the extraterrestrial presence, about all of it, our history on this planet. And so that's the most exciting part.
Wow, excellent! I like that. So let's start with the extraterrestrial. What's the sense for you? Why are the extraterrestrials visiting us?
Well, it's a long answer because we have ancient aliens, so they've been visiting us for hundreds of thousands of years. And if we are so stupid to think that God would only create people on this planet and not on other planets, that's ridiculous, not even logical. I worked a lot with Monsignor Valducci of the Vatican, and he said that Jesus is mentioned in the Bible as King of the universe 66 times. The universe is not planet Earth. It's planets all over the universe. So I realized that logically, whatever force God created us, created people everywhere else. They're probably much more evolved than we are because they're able to travel in space-time to get here, and we can't go anywhere.
Right. So do you also think, some people say that there's extraterrestrials, or there's actually aliens living with us?
Yes.
Do you think that's the case?
Oh, absolutely. Not only do I think that's the case, that's the work I'm doing right now. I am going around the world getting witness testimonies of human-type beings to try to dispel the myth that the whole extraterrestrial field is abductions and little gray clones. I worked with Colonel Philip Corso of the Pentagon when he told me about the back engineering. He told me that the beings inside were basically clones. They were biological entities. So I realized a long time ago that if I went back in the history of the 50s and 60s, I found that there were people visiting Earth. And so I studied the Damsky, Howard Menger, George Van Tassel, and all the contactees that met with people. And in my presentation, I have photographs of those people. Because Howard Menger, in his case, they're sitting in his orchard, and you can see that he's got his arm around them. So from the Wendell Stevens archive, I have the actual proof that there were people visiting us. I think these people, though, are very frustrated because all the United States cares about is the technology, the craft. So they are not really interested in what's inside the craft. So I think these people got very frustrated, gave their messages of anti-nuclear, and then went to the best place of all to contact people, the people with the biggest hearts, and that's Latin America. Right. So now I'm doing all my work in Latin America because there are space people coming off ships, talking to people in Latin America, the whole Sisto Paz, Charlie Pazwell's case, Ricardo Gonzalez, Luis Fernando from Bolivia. There's so many cases in Latin America of contact with people that interests me now because the people are time travelers and they know the future, and the messages that are coming out of Latin America are ecological, that we may suffer an ecological disaster. So that interests me more than whether I have a sighting or we have enough data. We have enough data. We have so much data. We have so many sightings. We have so many reports. We have documents. We have all this that I'm interested in what's inside.
Right. And what do you think there's inside?
I think they're people like us. I think that they're able to travel because their consciousness is evolved. I don't think ours is. I think that they're watching to see if we grow up as a human race. I think they're watching to see what we're doing to each other. And the problem is that we have diversity on this planet. We separate each other. They don't come to planet Earth and say this is a human species, because the human species is fighting borders, countries, races, and so forth. They're going, who are we going to talk to? The Chinese? Are we going to go talk to the Russians? And I don't think that's the case on other planets. I think they are one species.
Have you also studied the messages that, let's say, those visitors have left to us, to our fellow humans?
Yes, with Eugenio Siracusa on the island of Sicily in the 1950s, they said, number one, we are here, we are just like you. Please watch your ability to destroy each other with nuclear power. You have discovered the nuclear energy, and if you start playing the bomb game, bombing each other, it's over. And also to George Adamski, the message was clear. And George Adamski had contact with a human alien. Now there's a new book out called We Are Here, Visitors Without Passports, written by Michelle Zinger. And that book talks about the message, and the message is you can develop an economy by going out into the stars and having space travel, or you can continue your economy, war economy, but you're going to have to create the wars.
Right.
So that means if we stay with a war economy, we're never going to get off this planet.
Right. So we've received messages of what we have to do.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But don't ask me whether we listen to them or not.
So what's your mission, Paola?
Just information. But I'm one of very few field researchers, which means I travel all over the world. Timothy Good and I are probably the only researchers that go to the place and interview the people. And it's very difficult because I do this on my own money. My children are going, Mom, you could go to the Caribbean, and because I'm retired, and you could stay in the swimming pool and enjoy your life, but you take all your money and you travel to Argentina, you travel to France, you travel to Italy, you travel to Switzerland, you travel all over America. I'm on my way to New Mexico now for a case in Socorro, New Mexico, because I want to get the real story from the real people. And then I'll bring it to the general public. And it comes not from me or internet. Now everybody's getting everything from internet. It comes from the original people. And then it's my job to tell the world this is what really happened from the original sources.
So you mentioned before the cover-up. So do you think there's actually a cover-up?
Yeah, the cover-up is natural because these craft do not use oil and petroleum to travel. They use a propulsion system that would save our planet. They use free energy, and we are a planet based on economy. We have to have a petrodollar, the petro oil. We have to have that, unfortunately. And if they tell the truth, and the truth is that from 1945, 1947, when we had the crashes, they did not throw the craft in the trash, in the garbage. They did not. They took them, they back-engineered them, and that's my book in Spanish, Conversazione con Colonel Locorso. He said he was in charge of this. He was in charge of taking fiber optics, integrated circuits from the craft, the lasers, high tenacity fibers. This is all things that came from a crash, and his job was to go to big industry to back engineer it so they can use it, and if it's in industry, you're not going to have them saying it's coming from alien craft. So the cover-up is economic. I don't think it's religious anymore, because I used to live in Italy, and Father Funes made a few statements in 2009, the being is our brother and sister. We recognize that there are people from other planets and so forth. The Vatican's very involved with this.
Do you think that in the future we're going to be receiving more visitors?
I think if we start another nuclear war, or if North Korea, we have nuclear problems, because most of the sightings, if you study them, are over nuclear power plants. The case in Maelstrom Air Force Base in 1969, UFO shut down 10 Minuteman missiles, one after another. And that was when we were pointing them at Russia, and Russia was pointing them at us. This is 1969. In Russia, they started the activation codes to have the missiles come our way, but they stopped it just as the missiles were going. Now, they didn't kill us. They didn't destroy the missiles, but there's a message there, isn't it?
That's proven?
Yes,
All
this
this
is
information
true. Yes, this is in the Blue Book files, and I interviewed Robert Salas, who was at Maelstrom. And he was underground when the UFOs were over. And he was one of the testimonies at the citizen hearings in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
And he said they shut them down one by one by one. But they didn't destroy them. It was like saying, you're going to kill each other, we're going to stop it.
So they definitely want to protect us.
They don't, well, I think they're giving us a chance to make a decision. Because my biggest worry is that they're going to get fed up and say, you're going to kill each other, kill each other. You know, throw the bombs at each other. I mean, can you honestly think about what would happen if North Korea bombed California and we started bombing the other? This is serious. This is not science fiction. So I am looking at, and it's us that would be, you know, the United States would have to bomb back, and what it would happen. They're watching us, looking at this insanity, saying, are these people really going to do this? There is no winner. There's no winner in that kind of thing. And that's where we are now in history.
Right. I would like to, you know, end the conversation and ask you if you would be so kind to actually talk to our audience and, you know, just give them a piece of advice. You know, a lot of people hear from time to time things, you know, not in the main media, but they hear things and they don't know who to believe most of the time.
I know, and the thing is this, that I'm a teacher, so I have a master's in education. And if you wrote a paper or a book based on internet, I would give you an F. You must start reading books. And that's why I've spent so much money having Ricardo Gonzalez's book translated into English. And you must listen to the messages of Antarel in Ricardo's book, because through Ricardo I have actually seen a space person in Shasta standing right in front of me. So I translated his books. I translated the Amicizia case, Stefano Brescia in Italy. I've translated Colonel Corso's books, The Day After Roswell. Please go back to reading, because everything you see on internet is entertainment sometimes. And this is so serious. This is not entertainment. This is the most important question for humanity. So do your own research. Don't listen to what people tell you.
Excellent. Paola, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for sharing so much of your wisdom with us today.
Oh, thank you. It's
Thank
a lot
you very
of fun.
much. Absolutely.
Thank
so
you.
Here again, this is Angel Ribo with Mindalia TV. Thank you very much for being with us today.